Okay, guys, this is the chainsaw safety. I know it looks backwards to you, but,
No.
No,
oh, it does to me. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
This looks
basically,
really small.
well, I can read it with my glasses. It's called a quick card, and I guess it's something that you can carry, put in your toolbox. And it goes into what to do before starting your chainsaw, like making sure your blade is sharp. You want to make sure that everything is secure, that in fact, this check controls chain tension and all bolts and handles to ensure they are functioning properly and they are adjusted according to the manufacturer's instructions. Make sure that the chain is always sharp and that the oil tank is full. Well, for weekenders, if it's sitting in the shed for a month, you need to check all that. Even if it's just sitting in the shed for a week, you should check it. Start the saw on the ground or another firm support. Drop starting is never allowed. Now, there's a lot of drop starting. I see professionals doing it all the time. And but according to OSHA, if you're working under their regulations, they have a person standing there beside it on the ground with 1 foot in the handle and having a firm grip, making sure that you're in neutral and all that, and they start the saw that way. Or they've got it on a table or whatever, and they fueling the chainsaw. Use approved containers for transporting fuel to the saw. Dispense fuel at least 10 feet away from any sources of ignition. And when performing construction activities, no smoking or during fueling. Again, it's common sense, but a lot of times, they're just not thinking of it. If they smoke, they got a cigarette hanging out of their mouth. So it's just common sense. Use a funnel or flexible hose when pouring fuel into the saw. Never attempt to fuel running a hot saw. Clear away dirt, debris, small tree limbs, rocks from the saw's chain path. Look for nails, spikes, or other metal in the tree before cutting. Shut off the saw or engage its chain brake when carrying the saw on rough or uneven terrain. Keep your hands on the saw's handles and maintain balance while operating the saw. Proper personal protective equipment, or PPE, must be worn when operating the saw, which includes hand, foot, leg, eye, face, hearing, and head protection. Do not wear loose-fitting clothing. Be careful that the trunk of the tree limbs will not bind against the saw. Watch the branches under tension. They may spring out when cut. Gas-powered chainsaws equipped with a protective device to minimize chainsaw kickback. Be cautious of saw kickback. To avoid kickback, do not saw with a tip. Keep tip guard in place. Well, I don't have a tip guard on my saw, but I won't cut with the upper part at the tip of my chainsaw and without putting the rest of it in there. You're not cutting with just the tip when you're doing a plunge cut, because you're using both. You're using the full half circle. So and there are like 3 major types of kickback. It's the one where if you cut on the tip, the chainsaw automatically, when it binds, it's going to come in an opposite direction. And if you're the one that's sawing, it's going to come and hit you in the face or head. There are a couple others, and it's really change in motion. Whatever that chainsaw is doing, whether it binds or whatever, it's going to come straight back at you. Maybe not up and out, but it will come back at you. So be aware of any kind of kickback.
So Sue, let me interject there since you're talking about kickback.
Yes, please.
It's just like working at your lathe. Don't put your face in front of that chain.
Exactly.
Stand off to the side. don't cut with that saw in the middle of your body. You want to cut with that saw, if you're splitting logs like I was splitting, don't stand right in line with that chain. So if that chain breaks or kicks back or hits a nail or whatever it is, it's going to go, the worst it's going to do is maybe hit you in the shoulder. It isn't going to hit your pretty face. And somebody always like Kate says, somebody always likes your face. They married you.
That's
so
exactly right.
somebody likes the way you look. So don't hinder that. I mean, just do just like you do with your turning on the lathe. Don't stand in front of the piece. Stand off to the side and work from the side of a piece, not directly in line with that blade.
If you all want more about chainsaw safety, just go on Google and type in chainsaw safety. There's plenty of organizations out there that actually offer courses. Most are not free. Now, OSHA has a 30-hour course, and I think it was $25. But that's to be certified in chainsaw safety. Canada's got a great one. The UK has another one. There's a lot of safety factors out there for chainsaws.
Yeah.
Remember, they can cut you in half a lot easier than they can cut wood. Also, on hand safety, there are chainsaw gloves out there with the back of the hand is several layers, including Kevlar in there, so that a lot of people will cut their hands, and you notice on the figure it's the left side. Well, you can buy gloves that are both padded. Since I'm left-handed, that's what I would get. And don't buy the cheap stuff over at Harbor Freight, guys. It's just a glove. They're good for weeding, okay? Get yourself some good gloves for chainsawing. And they also have an extra wide collar on the gloves, so dust and debris can't go in there. When you're doing the and if you do order them, either online or go to Steel or Oregon or one of the other ones, make sure they fit properly. They have normally two measurements, one going around the hand and one going from this to the tip of your long finger. They have to fit snugly. You don't want loose gloves. The steel-toed shoes and leather are ideal, but you're better with the Steel, and there's other companies. They offer special chainsaw boots. They're not cheap, but for what we spend on all our equipment, it's a great investment. You can get Oregon and Husqvarna head equipment, and it all comes as one piece. Scott was showing you if you smash your earmuffs, you can just buy muffs that click back into the holes. It comes with a face shield. If that becomes damaged in any way, replace it. Don't risk it. If your hat been hit hard with something, get rid of the hat and replace that. They have a date on the inside of the brim of the hats that they have now for logging, and it looks like an hourglass. The middle number is the year that it was made, and then it has like a little hand going out, and it tells you the month it was made. So if you get one, or someone gives you one, don't accept it. But if you get one that says 23 in the middle and it's pointed to 2, you knew that was made in February of 23. They're only good for 5 years. Some people, I've never seen one that's more than 5 years. So don't go cheap on your personal safety equipment. And I also want to thank Mr. Kenny about sending me an email on some respirators on eBay. I do have a couple of bids in for some, so thank you. And be safe out there this week. And since we're not all loggers, and I have a little 12-inch steel battery powered one, but be careful out there. Look at the YouTube videos that are out there on chainsaw safety. Don't just go buy a chainsaw and think you can use it. It's a lot more than that. So, Scott, thank you for letting me do that. You and I talked about this before, so
Yep.
it was a great demo, and thanks, you guys. Be safe and take care of yourself and your family this week. Take care.
Susan, the only thing I'll add to that, on the YouTube videos on chainsaw safety, I've watched quite a few of them lately. And somebody said something about common sense earlier. Please don't just do what you see on YouTube just because you saw somebody do it. You use your common sense and be safe.
I was going to say the same thing on the YouTube, because sometimes you get somebody that's never done something, and they jump on YouTube and post a video and they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. Look
Yep.
at the, I want to add to that too, Trace. Look at their credentials. If you're watching them on YouTube, go through and look at their videos and look at what they're doing. There's a couple of guys out of Canada, and it slips my mind right now, but they're really good. And they preach safety every time they're doing something, and they show accidents that happen, just dumb things, you know, tripping on a stick and then falling on the chainsaw and you know, cutting your arm, just falling on it without it running, you know, carrying it, you know, they show that stuff. So you want to see these unedited videos and really check them out. Just don't assume they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, there are some universities and education centers that have YouTube videos out there for chainsaw safety. Those are good to watch as well.
I think the Logging Congress has some YouTube videos out too, I believe. I haven't seen them lately. I haven't looked for them lately, but I believe they do too.